Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
On the national news from Babagade Imo Television, first the headlines. Naira, among Africa's worst currencies, falls by 40%, World Bank. Judgment based on constitution, not public opinion, CJN. Ministerial nominee faints, journalist dies in National Assembly shuttle. World Teachers Day, NTI introduces one-year mandatory internship for teachers. No money paid for release of Benue kidnapped commissioner, Aliyah. And on sports, Antonio Rudiger reflects on epic duel with Super Eagles Osimhen in Real Madrid's Champions League victory. I am Maurire Rabi Lalawa, the news in detail. The Nigerian Naira is among the worst performing currencies in Africa, the World Bank has said. It noted that the currency weakened by nearly 40% against the US dollar since the mid-June evaluation. The Global Bank explained in its report that titled Africa's Polls and Analysis of Issues Shaping Africa's Economic Future, October 2023, Volume 28. It stated that so far this year, the Nigerian Naira and the Angola Kwanza are among the worst performing currencies in the region. These currencies have posted a year-to-date depreciation of nearly 40%. The weakening of the Naira was triggered by the central bank's decision to remove trading restrictions on the official market. For the Kwanza, it was the decision of the central bank to stop defending the currency as a result of low oil prices and greater debt payments. Other currencies with significant losses so far in 2023, according to the World Bank, included South Sudan 33%, Burundi 27%, Ghana 12%, the Democratic Republic of Congo 18%, Kenya 16%, Zambia 12%, and Rwanda 11%. It noted that parallel exchange market rates are also compounding inflationary problems for some countries in the African region. In June 2023, the Central Bank of Nigeria directed Deposit Money Bank to remove the rates cap on the Naira at official investors and exporters window of the foreign exchange market and allow the free flow of the Naira against the dollar and other global currencies. Since then, the Naira had fallen from 473 Naira to dollar to around 800 Naira, $1 officially, highlighting the widening differences between the parallel and official parallel exchange rate of Naira. The bank stated that these had been the case from March 2020 until June 2023. It said the parallel rate premium increased to 80% in November 2022 and then to about 60% in June 2023 as a central bank's intervention to restrict foreign exchange demand and keep the exchange rate artificially low were met with decline in FX supply from oil revenues. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, has said public opinions, no matter how serious or weighty, cannot supersede the provisions of the country's constitution in the determination of legal disputes in court. The CJN said judges have an obligation to follow the law when deciding cases. Justice Ariwola stated this on Wednesday after swearing in 23 newly appointed judges of the Federal High Court. Among the new judges is the son of the CJN, Olukayode Ariwola Jr. The CJN in his speech told the new judges several vitriolic attacks are regularly heaped on the judiciary. It is, however, crystal clear that public opinion, no matter how serious or weighty it might be, cannot override or supersede the constitution of the country, which apply in deciding each case. He stressed that the appointment of the judges was not to amass wealth, warning that any form of wrongdoing would not be condoned. The CJN said the National Judicial Council would wave the big stick against any judge found one thing. Ariwola said whatever wrongdoing that emanates from any form of indiscretion and abuse of office will, in like manner, be used to concite, chastise, and thoroughly sensitize the same conscience that you may have refused to listen to. The Senate on Wednesday confirmed the ministerial nomination of Abbas Balarabe from Benue State whose name was forwarded by President Bola Tinubu in replacement of ex-Kaduna Governor Nasir El-Rufai, whose nomination was rejected by the Senate. The Senate also confirmed the ministerial nomination of 37-year-old Dr. Jamila Ibrahim from Kwara State and 34-year-old Ayodele Olawande from Osun State. However, after the screening of Ibrahim, who took the podium first, the session was thrown into pandemonium during the screening of Balarabe, who fainted on the podium shortly after introducing himself to the Senate. Balarabe had just finished sharing his experiences and track record with the senators when the incident occurred, about 15 minutes into his screening session. Senator Sunday Katung from Kaduna South Senator was on his feet making submissions in support of Balarabe's nomination when the nominee suddenly collapsed. The incident saw the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, shouting, "Give him Balarabe sugar and water." Akpabio also instructed journalists and cameramen to stop filming and to leave the Senate chamber. The nominee was then taken to the National Assembly Clinic. There was total confusion in the chamber when doctors rushed in with their first aid equipment to revive the ministerial nominee, who was already put on a seat. After regaining his strength and composure, the nominee pleaded with the Senate to allow him to continue with the session, but he was told to go and attend to his health. The Senate then resumed after about a 45-minute break to screen the third nominee, or Lawande. The three nominees were subsequently confirmed by the Senate. The three addition brings the President's ministerial appointees to 48. Meanwhile, the spokesperson of the Senate, Yemi Adaramodu, explained that the Senate went on to confirm Balarabe, notwithstanding that he fainted because he had passed all the necessary checks. Adaramodu said the nominee has been stabilized and he is fine now. Due to fatigue, he went down during the screening. The nominee wanted to continue, but the Senate told him to go and seek further medical attention and rest. Meanwhile, tragedy struck on Wednesday as Senate correspondent from a newspaper in Nigeria, Tijani Adeyemi, died of cardiac arrest in one of the National Assembly shuttle buses. The reporter had boarded one of the shuttles from the main gate, known as Mopol Gate, around at 8 a.m. and by the time he got to the checkpoint, he was discovered to be lifeless. Effort to resuscitate him failed as he was pronounced dead when he was rushed to the clinic of the Secretary General of the Federation. Adeyemi's body was thereafter kept at the National Assembly's clinic for evacuation and burial after being pronounced dead at the medical clinic. His remains were laid to rest at the Gudu Cemetery in line with Islamic rites. The Director General National Teachers Institute, Kaduna State, Professor Musa Metsapir, says the institute plans to introduce a mandatory one-year teacher internship program by January 2024. Metsapir disclosed these on Thursday in Abuja when he addressed newsmen to mark the 2023 World Teachers Day. Information reports that the day has its theme, the teachers we need for the education we want, the global imperative to reverse the teachers' shortage. Information also reports that the day, which is held annually on October 5th since 1994, is observed to commemorate the adoption of 1996 ILO UNESCO recommendation concerning the status of teachers. The day also focuses on the rights, responsibilities, and standards of teachers, initial preparation and further education, recruitment and employment. Expatiating on the planned internship program, the DG said that it will be introduced in partnership with the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria. He further stated that the program was initiated in compliance with Section C, subsection 1, page 21 of the National Teacher Education Policy 2014. Metsapir said that the internship was a mandatory program that is expected to last for a year for the holders of the Nigeria Certificate in Education, Bachelor of Education, Postgraduate Diploma in Education, Master of Education, and Doctorate of Philosophy in Education. He added the duration of 1 year is similar to internship programs of other professions like law and medicine. This will be operated in 2 diets, March and November of each year, before or after the commencement of NYSC by those with degree certificates. Metsapir, however, said the program would only be applicable to would-be teachers and not to those that have already been inducted by TRCN and given its certificates. Benue State Governor Osun State said no money or any monetary exchanges were involved in securing the release of his Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Mr. Matthew Abo. This was contained in a statement on Thursday signed by his Chief Press Secretary, Sir Tasso Kula, and made available to pressmen in Makurdi. The governor stated that no money or monetary exchanges were involved in securing his safe release. We can confirm to the Commissioner of Information, Culture and Tourism, Matthew Abo, has regained freedom. He has since reunited with his family in Senkeira, Okum local government area where he was abducted. His release was as a result of intense pressure on the criminals from the gallant security operatives who were acting on the directive of Governor Isint Ania, who had earlier given marching orders to them to ensure Mr. Abo's release, he said. The statement further disclosed that the kidnappers were still holding the former chairman Okum LGA, Mr. Washima Eruka, and his cousin who discreetly went to negotiate with them for the release of Mr. Eruka, but were also kidnapped. The former chairman was kidnapped at a different location and death. Alia will welcome back the commissioner for that warned criminals operating within the state to leave for good, insisting that they would not be tolerated in any form. The governor commended the security operatives for ensuring the safe release of the commissioner and tasked them to ensure the safe release of the remaining captives. He charged the security operative with being ruthless on criminals and ensuring that they have no room to operate in the state. Mr. Abo, who was kidnapped on September 24, spent 10 days in captivity before regaining his freedom. The family of one late Ayodele Bosede on Wednesday called on the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, to revisit the murder case of the deceased who was allegedly killed by suspected cultists in Owo, Osun State. Bosede was alleged to have been killed by the cultists popularly known as Imole in the ancient town in 2022. The suspected killer was said to have been arrested by the police and immediately charged to court. Imole was arraigned before the State Chief Magistrate Court on a 3-count charge concerning murder. The charge sheet read that Hugh Suleiman Ayuba, Imole male, and others at large on the same day, time, and place in the aforementioned magistrate district did parade himself to be the air court's secret court member and thereby committed an offense, contrary to and punishable under section 1(1) of the Courtesan, Security Court and Similar Activities Prohibited Act Cap 39, Volume 1, Laws of Osun State of Nigeria 2006. That Hugh Suleiman Ayuba M and others at large on the same day, same time, and information magistrate districts, while armed with guns, cutlasses, did kill a driver named Abubakar Zakari, male, and wearing Nigeria Army CPL Seidu Bawa, and thereby committed an offense contrary to section 316 and punishable under section 319 of the law of Osun State. He said since the suspect has been released by the government, he has been threatening to deal with those behind his detention. That is why we are calling on the Inspector General of Police to rearrest the suspect to answer to the charges of killing the breadwinner of the family. Following the development, the family has expressed fear that the suspect might come back to attack its members since he had now been set free. The widow of the deceased Iyabo said the release of the suspected cultists by the DPP had led to panic among family members and friends who feared reprisal attack by the freed suspect. She added that the children and dependents of the deceased have been suffering as a result of his death, describing the late husband as the breadwinner of the family. Finally, on sports. Victor Osimhen has turned out to be a formidable striker who has poised threat to on many opponent defense. Germany and Real Madrid defender Anthony Rudiger has taken a moment to reflect on the thrilling battle he engaged in with Victor Osimhen during Real Madrid's 3-2 victory over Napoli in the UEFA Champions League match. The Neapolitan, in their bid to take charge of the UCL Group C, hosted Real Madrid at the Diego Maradona Stadium on Tuesday. But the dramatic showdown did not go well as they lost 3-2 to Carlo Ancelotti's men. Napoli initially seized the lead through Leo Ostiga's goal in the 19th minute, only for Real Madrid's Vinicius Juniors to level the score, and in the home fans 8 minutes to celebrate their lead. Jude Bellingham's sensational solo run granted the visitors the lead, but Petro Zelenski's penalty ensured the game remained deadlocked. Real Madrid ultimately secured a valuable victory when an own goal by Napoli's Alex Meret sealed the victory for the La Liga club. Meanwhile, while Madrid's attack was busy mounting pressure on their opponent, it was another day in the office for Rudiger, who was having an intense clash with Super Eagles talisman in the defense. In his battle, the former Chelsea defender emerged triumphant, effectively containing the Nigerian striker and preventing him from finding the net. After the game, Rudiger expressed his thoughts on his official formerly Twitter account, reflecting on the pressure he faced defending against Victor Osimhen. With our sports story, we've come to the end of today's national news. Before we go, some headlines. Nigeria, I beg your pardon, Nigeria's Naira among Africa's worst currencies falls by 40%. Judgment based on constitution, not public opinion, CJN, Ariwola. Ministerial nominee faints, journalist dies in National Assembly. World Teachers Day, NTI introduces 1-year mandatory internship for teachers. On sports, Antonio Rudiger reflects on epic duel with Super Eagles Osun in Real Madrid's UCL victory against Napoli. For update of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baban Bagide Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagide Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement, if you goods and services, corporate of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on the screen. Thank you for watching. I am Mawviwe Rabila Lawa. Good afternoon.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.